Hello there, Internet. MegaMogwai here, and I got another Legends of Runeterra video for you guys today. And today we are going deep, ladies and gentlemen, due to popular request or popular demand. I actually don't have a name for this. Let's call it deep. A deep name. I know. I'm just so original. Anyways, we have a deep deck list here that I'm going to showcase today in a live recording session, because yesterday I saw quite a few comments of you guys wanting me to showcase some deep on the channel, especially after the introduction of the new expansion and us getting a card like Stalking Shadows, which has proven to be really good for the archetype, and I'll explain why in a second. I saw a lot of you wanted to see this deck, so I'm like, you know what? I haven't played deep in a while, so let's make a video about it. This is my current version of the archetype, and I'm gonna explain, the choices that I made regarding specific cards and all that good stuff. But first of all, let's start off by defining deep a little bit, especially for those who are new to the channel and new to Legends of Runeterra in general. Deep is an archetype that revolves around the champion Nautilus. Nautilus is a 7-mana champion that originally is a 0/12 with tough and fearsome that says, when I level up, copy tossed allies that cost 4 or more into your deck. When you are deep, you level up, which means deep is you have 15 or fewer cards left in your deck. And leveled up Nautilus is one spooky boy. 13/13 with fearsome and tough that says sea monster allies cost 4 less. So we have a deck with a bunch of sea monsters. In specific, we have the Devourer of the Depths, which allows us to obliterate enemies upon entry. When we're deep, it becomes a 7/7 with Nautilus on board. He costs 2 mana. So this is the best sea monster in the game, by the way. Very, very good for both offensive and defensive purposes, and just a really strong effect that allows you to claw back into the game. And the Obliterate is really nice because it allows you to pick off champions with last breath effects and ignore that and erase them from the game, and even prevent Rekindler from bringing them back potentially, amongst other things. Really, really solid option to go for, especially once you're deep. And with Nautilus, this card becomes a powerhouse, right? So we're running it as a full set of, because the rest, we don't really play that many sea monsters in the main deck per se. We have a couple of copies of Abyssal Eye, which is a 3/3 with elusive that allows us to draw 1 if it strikes onto the Nexus. Becoming a 6/6 when deep is really neat, so we're running 2 copies of that, and a 1-off of Terror of the Tides. I think this is a staple, honestly, for deep decks personally. There are some differing opinions, but I believe that the effect makes it such a really crazy finisher. In most matchups, just playing this in the late game can just lead to a very easy win, as this effect is just like, basically it's like Nocturne on steroids, man. As we attack, we give all enemies -2 attack, and all of our sea monster allies have fearsome, and they have huge attacks, so it really helps us get enough damage onto there so we can set up an easy Atrocity lethal as well. Atrocity being a really powerful card because our champion has 13 attack, so yeah. Atrocity's good in this kind of deck. We also run Maokai, though. Maokai is almost, if not as important as Nautilus, as he is there to help us in the matchup against more slower control-based decks, as Nautilus can basically obliterate the opponent's deck and leave them with only 4 cards ready to be milled in scenarios in which the opponent has a slower tactic and is trying to build up for their late game. A very hard counter to a lot of control decks right now, and just a really, really solid resource as well that also allows us to set up the toss and go deep easier, as he functions as a very, very reliable engine that can help us pick off some of the opponent's pesky units with our challenger saplings, as we are tossing every time we're playing a unit, so we are getting to deep quicker that way. When it comes to our early game, we got Dread Dredgers, we got Horny Toad, and we got Dead Bloom Wanderer as our toss early game units, alongside Jaw Hunters, which is the main reason why we're not playing so many sea monsters in our main deck, because we don't want to draw these guys early on in the game. Jaw Hunters can give us a random sea monster in hand, and therefore give us the fuel for the late game, while also giving us a solid... I really like the design of this card, because it gives us a reliable tool to pick off mid-game threats, and it can be really good against decks like, for example, MF-Quinn, taking down MF-Quinn, and them having no pings when they are on the defensive makes this a really reliable resource that, is worse in Shadow Owls and Bilgewater matchups, but it still puts in the work, and it technically gives you card advantage from the get-go. So, just really nice card, and absolute must to have as a 3-of in any deep deck, in my opinion. As then we got A couple of Yetisons to help us toss. We're not playing Salvage anymore because instead we're playing the Stalking Shadows. This card is really good because not only does it allow us to draw a card from our deck, helping us reach deep, but it also allows us to pick up one of our tossers like Dread Dredgers or potentially Dead Bloom Wanderer, which means that we can get an ephemeral copy of that card and thus play, for example, 2 Dread Dredgers, and we don't care if one of them is ephemeral, we're tossing like 6 for 2 mana, right? This card really speeds up the process and has made it so that I don't need to run 3 copies of Yetison anymore, and I don't need to rely on Salvage either, right? And then when it comes to removal, we have a full set of Vile Feast, a couple of Grass Within 9 and Withering Will because there's a lot of burn running around, and we want to make sure that we never lose to burn aggro. As we have a shitload of healing and a couple of Vengeance for some more high-end threats in the late game. I used to run Riptide, but because I want to be winning with Maokai Mill, returning a unit to their deck in the late game can be a little bit of a liability, so Vengeance has proven to be more reliable in that sense. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the deck list right there. That's my current version of Nautilus Maokai Deep. Very fun deck to play if you are a Timmy, aka somebody who enjoys playing very big things, and many of those big things. This is the deck for you. So hopefully you guys enjoy the gameplay that I got for you today. Leave a like, subscribe, all that stuff because it helps me out and it doesn't really cost you any money. So who's at a loss here, right? Sounds so good at selling myself. So yeah, that's all day. Enjoy the matches and I'll see you tomorrow. All right, here we go. I need a haircut really bad. I was like looking at the camera, I'm like, oh man. You can only blame the quarantine so much. I'm gonna keep the Jaw Hunters in this matchup. Withering Whale is also a... I mean, the problem is Ranger's Resolve. I'm gonna drop the Withering Whale. I'm gonna keep the Yetison. I'm gonna keep the Jaw Hunters and the Vile Feast. Vengeance can also be pretty neat, even though it is a little bit slow here. No turn 1 bird, which is nice to see, honestly. I'm gonna drop my boy Horny Toad here. Horny Toad will protect me with his horniness. Alright, so he top decked Cithria. We're gonna keep our Horny Toad healthy here though. In this matchup we want to actually use him as a reliable blocker.
Fortune favors the bold.
I see no reason not to play Jaw Hunters here.
Vessel small, but she ain't lacking courage.
I think I saw her at the used ship emporium.
By blocking here, I accomplish several things. First of all, if he has a single combat to try to prevent us from killing Misfortune with this Jaw Hunters here, I can Vile Feast this. If he has a riposte, I can also Vile Feast that. So no matter what he does here, I should be able to take her down. Ranger's Resolve does not save her. Nice. Getting Misfortune out of the way is really neat. He could have another one, but I'll still take it.
Their spirits
and the swords. I'm gonna go for the Yetison. Just to make use of my mana before I burn it. I also do like the idea of just going for a Vile Feast here, but I'm not sure how necessary that truly is. I mean, he could have a Bannerman, for example. Removing a body is really important. I'm gonna try. That way, like, this Vile Feast technically cost me 1 mana because I would have burned that other mana anyways. And I still have Vengeance enabled for next turn. But getting 1 body out of the board is really important. Because Bannerman and all those sorts of setups, like also Genevieve later down the line, those rack up, right? If I pick off his board little by little, it's worth it. Alright, that's a thing. That's a dragon. Spooky dragon. Is it worth me going for a Vengeance on it, though? I think so. Alright, picking off. Slowing him down a little bit. Alright. I could try to play Devourer. He could, like, what does he respond with? Devour really gives me some good momentum here. Like, he can't really stop it unless he single combats. Something like Repose to a combat. If not, I get to develop a 4/4 and remove his challenger. Like, in this sort of matchup, if you can pick off their board, even if it is with some optimal plays, like we would rather wait to play this when it's deep, right? But in this case, like, weakening their board constantly really takes their punch out.
Well then, a fight's a cooking.
English. I could attack with you, but I am worried about a riposte. Even though if he does do that, he is limited in regards to... let's wait.
No prey.
No bay. Alright. I'd rather keep this in the back. I don't want to play into a riposte. I'd rather have something to do against that. Alright, it's your boy.
The quiet of the woods. There's nothing like it.
Okay. Alright, what about Nautilus? Nautilus will take a total of, like, potentially 8 damage. Put him relatively weak, but I could just play you. You're a beefy blocker. I play the Shipwreck Hoarder.
Nothing back.
As both of these will just trade with Genevieve here.
Love ya.
Their pride will cost them.
Hand to the face.
I mean, if he has a Relentless Pursuit, we just kind of like lose, right? But there's not much we can do about that anyways. If he has it, we're dead. Okay. Alright, we're not dead. Not yet, at least.
Alright, let's mess some folks up. Nautilus Maokai, we are invincible! Correct.
We have to play this now because we have to use Riptide next turn. We have to hope that he still doesn't have... If he had Relentless Pursuit, he would have used it last turn. So he has to have top decked it here. Which means that as they attack next turn, as they lead on their attack, we are going to Riptide the Misfortune. Because leveled up Misfortune is going to tear us a new one if we don't. If he has Relentless Pursuit now, then we're pretty fucked.
Slow down, will you?
Alright.
I suppose.
And now we're going for the level up.
You hear the call?
We're gonna go for the Riptide. Level up time. Bit of oh, never mind.
Nothing gets between me and my mom.
Hot damn is the boss.
Hot damn is the boss. We can take this hit.
A symbol worth fighting for.
We can no longer take this hit. Because he drags you, we block you, 4, 3, 10. Yeah, we need you.
Vessel small, but she ain't lacking courage.
We could be dead here. We got a bluff.
Standard. Show them our mettle.
We just gotta survive this turn. If we survive this turn, we can set up Terror of the Tides next turn with Atrocity.
Hungry.
Alright, so the biggest, the strongest points here, you and you still represents lethal, which means we gotta block here. And again, Relentless Pursuit just completely wrecks us, but he can't riposte. Relentless Pursuit. That's what it does this here. Alright. 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 We're going deep, boys. We're going deep. I repeat, we're going deep. Exalt! So for no Bannerman or anything like that, let's go Terror of the Tides. We got double Atrocity here, which can just single-handedly allow us to win.
Safeguard our citizens.
Alright. If we reduce these down, he's got blockers for us.
Forward.
That Bannerman is really saving them here.
You're easy to track.
Wow, is he really taking that hit?
How you doing?
No, he's not.
Quit your yapping.
Quit your yapping. I'm thinking about potential ways he can do to counter this, but my best bet is, now that he's declared the blockers, my best bet is to Atrocity now, before this takes any damage, because if he drops something big, and he has a single combat as well, he could kind of counter my play that way. So we do this now, like this. We Atrocity 1. Is that Relentless Pursuit? Because that's the case, we're dead. Like, that's... Oh! Jesus, what are you doing? What's that emo for? You just scared me.
Feel the sizzle.
That was so dirty. That's why you play Atrocity in Deep, ladies and gentlemen. I still see Deep decks without Atrocity. Not common, but play Atrocity. It can just cheat you ways like that. Alright, round 2. Oh, will you look at who it is? It's your boy, Twisted Fate. With our deck list. Alright. Let's drop you and you. Let's drop the Withering Whale as well. Let's keep the Dead Blue Wanderer because toss, early toss is what we really aim to go for here. Whenever you see late game sea monsters in European hand, the vast majority of the time, in fact, like I could not really think of a specific scenario in which you do otherwise. Mulligan them. Get them out of your hand. You don't. I know they look really cool. You know, they're huge fish and they're very scary. But do not have them in your European hand. There's just no benefit from that. You want to search your for your toss units here. And even though we do have a couple of sea monsters in our hand, starting off the game with the Dread Dredgers always feels nice. We're going to let this Butcher go through. We're going to preserve this blocker for something better or bigger, more threatening. Especially because we have lifesteal here anyways. So yeah. Alright. Dredger number 2.
Give me the stuff.
Stuff make happy. Stuff make something happy. I can't even English. What a simple, fun life, huh? These dredgers live. With their terrible vocabulary. What are these things anyways?
It's hard to get
Like, what are they doing? What's their purpose? Are they like hunters or? I may as well use one of my jump blockers here. Prevent a little bit of damage. Prevent plunder as well, which at this point can be very important because this deck, you know, I know a thing or two about it, and I know it does run a lot of that. I'm just gonna play the Wanderer here. Stalking Shadows is neat, but I already have a Tosser. And just like that, we are at 24. Okay, there's a Slayer Priestess, which means one thing. He's trying to find Written in the Stars for Twisted Fate. We will find out soon enough if that is the case. Gotta watch out for the likes of Bastion. Alright, I don't want to necessarily play Jaw Hunters on a Twisted Fate turn. But I am going to go for a Stalking Shadows here. I mean, not like we have much of an option there. So I would like to attack here? I mean, I could just pass and see what he does. Yeah, I'm gonna keep the Jaw Hunter option open. Like, I'm not in a huge hurry to. Okay. Yeah, that may be a mistake right there. That legitimately may be a mistake if I know my deck well. In fact, I'm going to search for it right now. Because why the hell not? To take that information and use it well. Alright, your deck, our deck. So we see Warning Shots, Pale Cascade, Hush. Besides that, no, nothing to counter this. So we may be getting rid of Twisted Fate pretty easily here. Like, basically only Hush saves him. Yep. Made a mistake there, buddy.
Say your farewells.
I'll trade with that, I don't mind. I want to get that lifesteal and get that body off the board. Yep. I'm sorry, Fate. Sorry I had to do that to you, bruh. Really am. At 22. With an ephemeral Thorny Toad, which is his 2 tosses, and your boy Maokai. There's not really something I threatened for. Yeah, I'm not worried about Maokai going down if I play him this turn. Yes, that's great. That is great, mate. If I pass here, this man's not going to attack. Leveling on Maokai is pretty important, so I'm going to drop you. Because what I can do next turn is I can play Maokai into Horny Toad. This allows me to effectively, like, progress the level up 3 stages, because I'm gonna, like, he's gonna die, and I'm gonna get 2 tosses off of it. Getting Maokai up to 15. With another Maokai in hand, this is perfect.
The Isles will bloom again.
Maokai's our win condition, this one. Like, last one it was just Nautilus, right? Well, Atrocity Nautilus. Okay. Interesting.
You are not wanted here, intruder.
Like that's ever
Something
stopped
for
me.
all of you.
My selection speaks for itself.
Alright, did get me deep though. Okay.
I never disclose my sources. Unstoppable. Prove yourself. I'm sorry.
He stole this and he stole that, right? He could have stolen a vengeance. Could very easily have stolen a vengeance, which is definitely a bit concerning. Bastion could be a thing as well. But I would like to try to eliminate Twisted Fate here. What if I okay, so if I atrocity the Toad, I advance to 23. That's tricky. That's tricky. I think I have to live with the fact that he could have taken a vengeance from me. I have to accept this.
I dealt with you Shadow Isles types before.
They are nothing
Like, how much has he drawn from my deck? Just that one merchant, correct? So it's just, it has to be like, I have two vengeances in my deck. I would have to look also like at the cards that I've tossed away. I have tossed the vengeance. So there's only one vengeance in my deck. No, I have tossed 2 vengeance. No, so yeah, so there's no, he actually could not have taken a vengeance.
Tired of waiting.
Okay. The moment I level up Maokai, the moment his Twisted Fate just becomes a huge liability for him. Anyways.
Vessel small, but she ain't lacking courage.
Because now we go up to 3. to 23 as this sapling dies. My opponent's out of gas. And we're going in. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going in. That's a big liability for you there, buddy.
Now this game's heating up.
We're gonna make Twisted Fate a mistake. I'm going to attempt to like I said, I don't really want to deal with that. I like the atrocity enabled here. Though to be fair,
I've learned patience.
I'm gonna try to reach you.
We'll see who feasts tonight.
Because at this point we don't want to deal with space. Alright, level up Maokai, baby! Get rid of that deck. This is bittersweet. This is bittersweet. But now we leave him at 4. Which means... And the thing is, even if he has other Twisted Fates in his deck, he can't really afford to do that. Like, he can't afford to go for the signature spell, because that's just gonna draw him more cards. He's gonna mill himself. Okay, that's alright. It's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine.
Who says I don't share?
Every time he plays a card, he will draw. So he is on the clock. The moment we find Nautilus, we'll be putting a bunch of how many sea monsters have I actually tossed away?
Don't ask where it's from.
Hold it, partner.
All right. We get a chump blocker with the Maokai here, generating a sapling. Again, him playing a card just puts him more on the clock. This is the ultimate counter to Twisted Fate here, and there's your boy Nautilus. So he can't even hope to mill me with his own like nabbing. He's gotta survive this turn. Playing Nautilus allows us to play these 2 Abyssal Eyes for 1 mana. Thorny Toad here gives us health gain. And our opponent will 100% mill themselves before they mill me. I love this Twisted Fate deck, but this is a fantastic counter. That is spooky. But I mean, could be spookier.
Blue as the serpentine.
Ya boys inside. We got the super friends here. Tin Man and Tree Man. Double T. Hashtag double T squad, baby. What am I even talking about? Why am I saying words?
I'm a people person.
Oh, sorry, bro. One mana 6/6 elusive. Balanced.
There's plenty of killing there.
Let's repeat that.
Together at last.
We got the lineup to defend here, to protect. Then next turn, you can play a single card. He has to kill me this turn. Block here. We actually, we don't want to...
You defile the grove. Grab block like this. Make sure we take as little damage as possible, because that is the only way we're going down here. As now, it's checkmate, buddy.
last card. Can't do anything. The moment he plays a card, he's gonna draw. He literally can't do anything. Oh, Maokai, the ultimate Twisted Fate counter. Oh man, it's a pretty elegant way of winning. I don't know. It's just like, just pass. Make a move and you're dead.
I tire of waiting.
Ah, just let it be. Drinking my juice. Eyes open. Eyes open. Twisted Fate Sudoku. Honorable TF Sudoku. Good. All right, this deck has been growing a little bit in popularity. This ramp deck with War Mother's Call. We do want to have a bit of a speedy approach here. I mean, this deck runs like a billion pings, so Jaw Hunter is actually really bad. I'm gonna keep the Dead Moon Wanderer and drop everything else, hoping to find as many toss options as possible. Maokai is again a very strong win condition here. I do want to play you.
They're out there.
Well, spot. I'm gonna attack, apply pressure. And then we're gonna get tossing. Tossing, and tossing some more. The fact that he let off with an Avarosa's Entry makes it so that he can't ramp on turn 3, which, you know, if he does have the what's it called? I forgot what it's called. I'm gonna pass here because if he doesn't do anything this turn,
Can see the Demacian border from here.
now we don't have to worry about this. We're gonna play Maokai.
The Blessed Isles live through me.
Win condition right there. We don't have to worry about a vengeance. I wanted to make sure that I got some toss out of Maokai. All right, he's setting up for a grass till the end time. I'm not gonna attack because I don't want to help him draw.
In Avarosa's name.
I'm gonna take this hit. And I'm going to play you.
Protect our grove.
Toss, and toss some more. Yeah, that really gets the ball rolling. We have 2 more Maokais in the deck, so the moment this one goes down. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Alright, so that's at 23. I want to hold on to this. I think we just play you now.
Blooding gets golden glory.
Shipwreck Hoarder can be interesting.
Our strength is yours. Go and harvest it.
I don't want him to draw more here.
These are troll lands.
Maokai's at 13. This helps us level up Maokai, but also like gives us a good blocker for this. Again, we want to ignore these. I mean, we don't want to keep taking too much damage, right? Like, we may block into one of them just to heal up a little bit. I'm gonna play Maokai here. It gives me access to Riptide in case my opponent responds with like a vengeance. gonna Riptide.
For the thrill of battle! In Avarosa's name.
This doesn't really help me right now. I mean, it helps me level up Maokai potentially. Now I can attempt to do this. Eliminate the Tryndamere. Nice! Nice! We're going in, boys. We're going in! We're going in! Going face.
Ready the torches.
Going face, going face. Dun, 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 dun. Alright. That's like.
Light the signal fire.
That's super inefficient because he doesn't get any health gain out of that. Look at that hit, boy! Look at that hit. Horny Toad also being a great blocker here. Oh, that's just great. Let me think here. I could. This forces a ruination out of him next turn. Let's do this. The power! The power! I'm gonna jettison here. We leveled up Maokai, which is all that matters. This is pretty relevant at this point. God, the power. Oh, that vengeance is sick. I'm trying to find Maokai as fast as I can. All right, cool story, bro. I'm gonna go ahead and drop you.
Many tribes under one banner.
Let's go in. We're going in. Oh, bullied. Absolutely bullied. Oh, that's beautiful. Man, Deep putting in some work there. I legit thought that was gonna be a Maokai game as well, because in that matchup, Maokai is amazing because they rely on War Mother's Call. So if you just strip away their deck, they don't really get anything out of it, and they just run out of gas. Devourer being amazing against Tryndamere there. That's why you gotta focus on not letting Tryndamere level up, so you can sneak in a deeped up Devourer to take him down when the opponent's guard is down. And Vengeance is the two of being really important as well. But honestly, MVP, Jawhunters. Jawhunters giving me the 7-drop. I forgot his name. The Hoarder, right? Yeah, the Shipwreck Hoarder. And just getting those crazy cards out of that. I like me some Deep. I didn't actually get to showcase much of like Stalking Shadows and how good it is with this deck, because of like the ability to pull copies of tossed units and get that rolling. But really, really strong card that allows us to go down to 2 copies of Jettison. I'll probably explain this in the deck tech anyways. And Terror of the Tide's also putting in the work as well. That dirty win against, I guess, Misfortune Quinn, game 1. I liked it. Fun session. I like winning games. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Have a solid day. Hope you enjoyed the matches. Subscribe, leave a like, all that stuff. It's free. Free is good. Self-promotion over. Have a good one. I'll see you tomorrow.